Okay, we'll just get started. I'm going to go to lesson 12, which I already have open very conveniently here. I forgot to open the book. Let me open the book while we're here. Wait, I don't need the book, do I? I might. We'll see. This exercise is quite long, and I expect us to spend some time on it. And I think that's a good thing because exercises, like I always say, that's really where you learn the language, especially in a class. Like I can talk at you about it all day, but it's not going to do you any good if you don't do the exercises. And in this particular case, we've all kind of been away for a little bit. So it's definitely a good idea to just like spend some time practicing before we do much of anything else. Here we go, lesson 13. Okay. So I forgot to write your names down, and I'm just horribly unprepared. Let's see, I have paper at least. It means I need to see all of you at once, which is surprisingly difficult. Okay, I see Claudio, who do I see? Claudio, Christian, David. I'm just gonna get the list. Claudio, Christian, David, Tyler, Dante, Michael, and TV. Is that correct?
Do you want to skip me?
Yes, I probably will. And I definitely will after you tell me that you would like me to. So again, the policy on that is always, you know, we're glad to have you here. You are welcome to participate as much or as little as you like. I encourage you to participate only because if everyone doesn't participate, then it's just me doing Coptic exercises to a group of people, which is, I don't know, I mean, if that's what you're into, I guess. So, but yeah, by all means, you're more than welcome to just sit things out, and you can tell me that at any time. You don't really have to. Like Michael, is nice of you to send me a message about it, but it's also not necessary. You can just skip at any time for any reason. Okay. I don't know if I ever learned things better in a class that had required attendance, but I doubt it. I think that's why I have this policy. Actually, I don't know if I've talked about this at all, but it's kind of relevant to think about like pedagogical styles or, you know, your philosophy about those sorts of things. I don't think teachers actually teach you things. I think teachers are kind of like, teachers are like you're trying to climb over a tall fence and they're giving you a boost. Like they can definitely put the things in front of you that will allow you to do it, but you still gotta try to make that climb. And they're not gonna shove you over. It's just not gonna happen. They theoretically could, but it would be terrible. So that's why I have all these kinds of policies. And I feel like they work pretty well. I don't know. Anyway, okay, that's enough about that. Lesson 12, and it looks like I have first on my list, Claudio.
Do I have to do, sorry?
No.
Do I have to begin?
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Christian, would you like to take the first one?
Sure. The first one is Psha inta shoppe mal. So that means the festival which happened there.
See, I'm probably going to give you, let's say like 5 at a time. Yeah,
Yeah.
The festival which happened there. Notice that the word Shah is actually, it comes from this older word that means like the sunrise. So it was originally like the rising of Re in the morning, and then it became associated with other gods, and it became kind of the general word for any kind of religious festival, because that's when they would take the gods out of the temples. So it was like the gods rising. analogous to the rising of the sun. And then it became kind of generally a word for a festival, which they had a ton of in ancient Egypt. They had festivals all the time. Some of them were pretty rowdy too. Like we're talking about like carnival type stuff going on. So it's been fun.
Sorry, could you repeat the translation?
Yeah. I said it means the festival which happened there.
Thank you.
Okay, Claudio, do you want to take the next one? Oh, I'm sorry. It's still your turn, Christian. Sorry.
Yeah, it's still my turn here. That's good. Number 2, Petronos entaf hmos ejuf. So the throne which he sat on.
Yep.
Which he sat on it, but which he sat on.
Good. Yeah. So the throne which he sat on it is literally what the Coptic says. Doesn't hurt to translate things that way. You might find that if you translate enough things that way, it starts to show up in your speech in English, which is kind of fun. So there you go.
Number 3, Pio entai ale ejuf. So the donkey which I got onto it, or which I mounted.
Yeah, the donkey which I mounted him.
Yeah.
Listen, that sounds. The word mounted, I feel like, has taken on a different meaning of late.
You recorded that, right?
Okay. Number 4, pat entai taaf ne. The money which I gave it to you being a female person.
Good. Yeah. I'm guessing a lot of people had trouble with that sentence.
Yeah.
Ne can mean like 20 different things at this point. It can probably mean a few more things that you haven't seen yet, but this is the one that always throws everyone off. Yeah, second person feminine is always weird just because of the phonology. So it was a T, or it was a sort of T at the end, and then it was eventually lost in pronunciation or became like a glottal stop. And then it's realized in really idiosyncratic ways. I'm sure there is a pattern to it, but I don't know what it is. So yeah, that one's really easy to miss. It's also just so tiny that it doesn't give you a lot to work with, but well done, Christian.
And then number 5, nehtor entan jitu ntotek. So nehtor is the horses, right?
Yep.
From tehtal, the horse. Entan jitu, which we received them from you.
Yep.
From your hands, literally. And
yeah, I think this also could mean like bought them. I feel like it could.
Like that get word, get.
Yeah.
Out, but you obtained them somehow.
This little tiny word means like a million different things in Coptic, but yeah, it's basically get. Okay, good work, Christian. I'm gonna pick somebody next. David, why don't I call on you? Claudio, we'll come back around to you.
Okay. Now?
Oh no, later.
Oh, okay.
David, can you take the next group?
Yeah, number 6, Enchere en Taumoshe en Sof, which means the children who walked behind him.
Yes, good. Yeah, and it's that last him is a little weird because it's not clear who we're referring to, but yeah.
Chere en tas Shone, the girl who became sick.
Yeah.
Or ill.
Yeah, literally the girl who became sick. It could also just mean the girl who was sick because of it has this, the word shopa kind of has this quality of like ongoing action or completed action. It can kind of take on either meaning, but yeah. So the girl who was sick or the girl who got sick.
Perep enta khalo so'of. So the wine which the old man drank.
Good.
Teshten enta sia'as. That is there's a printer going here. Okay.
That's okay.
The garment or the cloak or something that she yom, it means to, I don't remember this verb.
It's wash.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so the garment that she washed it.
Yeah, good.
And then number 10 is enshadje and tajo, and that is the words that he said or spoke.
Yep. The words that he said, them. Very good. Okay. Let's grab another 5. Let's go to Tyler.
Yes, sir. Number 11, Nurome Ntana Haro. And it's the men which we pitied.
Mm. Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct. It could also be like show mercy too, which I feel like is, maybe those aren't different.
We can find nuance anywhere.
Yeah, true.
That's my job most of the time, actually, teaching English, right? Teshime and taso ao asmise. Ao asmise?
You're asking about the pronunciation of awo. It's probably awo or avo
Awo.
or something. But I tend to say awo, and that's just the way a lot of American speakers say it.
Sure, thanks. So Teshime and taso ao asmise. And that's the woman who got pregnant and gave birth.
Good, yeah. Make this a little bigger. There we go. Okay.
Number 13, Puma inta monakios nhetif. So the place in which the monks stopped or waited.
So you're on track. I don't see exactly that in the Coptic. So I'm being a little nitpicky.
I wrote these notes a month ago. I'm a little rusty, so I'm gonna need some help.
I was about to say, wow, everyone is really doing so well with this.
Oops, combo breaker.
Yeah, I thought you were doing really well too, but you wrote it down. You wrote it down already. I was like, man, everybody's really crushing these.
Oh,
I was
no.
expecting
Of
this
course,
to
I have my
go
homework.
slower.
I do it. I have my notes.
I actually don't. I didn't realize. I don't think we've ever actually said out loud like whether you're meant to write things down. Obviously, you should do whatever works best for you. But I don't, and I really haven't in years. Like in language classes. Oh my gosh, this cat. In language classes, I never write anything down. No, you don't write anything down either. I think I got into the habit of just like showing up and translating whatever it was. I think there's some value in that. So it's really not like math, right? Where you're going to you have to work through your answers. You want to put them down on a piece of paper, and then when you come back to it, it's just to verify that your answer is correct for the most part, because you need that feedback. With language, you actually don't need all that much feedback. What you really need is just lots and lots of practice, because language is not math. Language is actually super easy compared to things that force you to kind of stretch your brain around them. Language is the lightest mental exercise you'll ever find, because it's basically just jogging. And the way it works is spending more time with it. So it's a good idea, and not at all a sign of being a slacker, if you just do the homework entirely in your head and then just do it again when you show up to class. But obviously you're welcome to do it however you choose. Okay, so just going back to this sentence, Pama and ta monojos and Jesus. So I see the monks for one thing. I'm not sure whether that's the way you said it or not, but I just feel the need to point it out.
Mhm.
So there are the monks, there's the place which the monks, and then just in it. So when you translated, you said something about we're waiting. You said the word wait, and there's no verb in here. This is just an adverbial clause, or like an adverbial predicate relative clause.
No, you're missing the co there.
Yes, yeah, you would expect to see a word like co.
Well, it is. It's in the book. It's just it's not here on the.
Oh, I'm literally
typed
missing
in.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me see. I have my book here. Why can't I find it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Aha. All right, good catch, Dante. Sorry about that. And Tyler, that means your answer was correct. So all of that was for nothing, except it was good practice. Doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah, I actually have a strange code that I have invented that maybe no one in the world could read from my notes. So I'm kind of like, I try to just have reminders of the things. I try to piece it together as we go, right? But it's been a while since I had time to look at this.
Yeah,
Number
understandably.
14. Peshver in Hoerov.
And that's the word
that's-
cho again.
I'm sorry?
Cho
Cho, yeah.
or kyo.
Cho
if you-
Erov. Intao Cho Erov. And so
Good.
that's the companion they waited for.
Mhm.
And number 15, Pahalo Intatetun Cho Erov. And that's the monk that y'all waited for.
Yeah. Especially in number 14, but really kind of any of these cases, number 14 would be the way Coptic would say the awaited companion or the awaited friend. Literally the friend whom they waited for is, it seems like kind of a mouthful to us, but obviously it's much less of a mouthful in Coptic because it's all these like really short, easy things getting stuck together. I point that out only because once we get into more like free flowing texts, that's a good thing to get used to, is the fact that a lot of these clauses and phrases that we're learning as their English equivalents, like the friend which they waited for him, in Coptic, they're actually they're used much more readily, and they have kind of less weight to them. So Peshver in Talchoerov would just be like, it's like the awaited friend. It could be a very short, sort of pithy thing like that, but it just has a lot of syllables, and that's just the way Coptic is. Okay, let's see who's next. TV, I think you said you'd prefer not to answer, so I guess that's Dante.
Yeah, and apropos what you were talking about, I've been like writing down the answers to the exercises, but just in the last few days, I tried, to review by just looking in the book and doing it mentally. And that I thought was probably be a better way to do it, to just
It is.
not write it down. But what made that possible is that I finally got a hard copy of the book, because when you have the book and you can flip between the sections and, if you're stumped, quickly look in the back, look in the left, right. It's sort of a lot easier to do that when with the PDF. It's so annoying to try and shift through it that
Yeah.
I don't know how easy it would be to do it that way, but with the hard copy, it sort of makes that easier. Anyway, so
Yeah,
16.
it also, I think you encountered something. So you've joined recently and you were reviewing to catch up. If
Yeah.
I had to sit down and write out all these answers right now, I wouldn't want to do it. That would be my own laziness would present a barrier to learning for me, because I just don't want to write down, 10,000 words of boring gibberish English as I do these little phrases over and over. And that's
Right.
something worth considering too. It's okay to make things easier, because often that helps you actually do the learning part. The real learning part is in reading the sentence. That's where most of it's happening. Maybe in learning some of the vocab if you don't already know it. But
Yeah, the flashcards are really important for that, I think. But it's also, you want to be able to look at a text in a book and read it. You don't want to have to like sit down and write out the translation, right? That's not the goal. So, so you
doesn't
might
look
as well
as cool for
practice
sure.
yeah, you just want to just practice what you want to do eventually, which is just read it. So yeah, so I'm going to think I try that going forward.
That's the thing
Anyway.
I hate movies the most for. They always have like, oh, I'm an Egyptologist. And they're like, well, here's this Mayan thing. And they're like, it says on this day in the year such and such. And you're like, no way. Nobody can do that. So annoying. Anyway.
Yeah, the guy I studied Greek and Latin with went to Oxford, and he said one of his professors there, who is like a famous dude, said that, every time he has to teach Thucydides, he like gets nervous and he has to review everything, because it's just like, even on that level, some of that stuff is so hard that,
Yeah.
it's not just like in the movies.
Yeah, I wish it were. Or I wish the movies would stop doing that. I don't know. The new movies are not going to stop doing that, so I shouldn't.
Gives everyone unreasonable expectations of what scholars should be able to do easily, right?
Right.
It doesn't have to be that way, I think. I mean, if we practice languages like Latin and Greek as they were spoken back then, just as living languages, I'm sure we could get to the point where we could just freestyle, like free read, sight read.
Well, yeah, yes, but it's like, Thucydides is not, conversational Greek, that's just like reading Kant or something, it's like, it's so 20 verbs in one sentence kind of thing. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I agree. If Latin and Greek were taught conversationally, that would help, I think, tremendously. And some
There are
people
WhatsApp
are
groups and
doing
online
that.
places you can speak Latin any day. They're posting memes constantly in Latin and
Yeah.
talking about it. So
Yeah,
it's out
for
there.
sure.
Latina vive.
Yeah. Anyway, so 16, right? So
right.
Petro entaktaaf nai ebol, the horse that you, masculine, sold to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So tabhos ebol is to sell, supposedly.
That's right.
Pshome and arkaaf etchen tetrapeza. So the book that you, girl, put on the table.
Good.
Right?
This could also mean which you left on the table. The word ko is another one of these words that's just like so simple and so general and so loose in meaning that you often have to translate it different ways depending on the context. In this case, the Coptic is just much vaguer than English would be because it can be. So yeah, the book which you in some way caused to end up upon the table.
Right. Okay. Papot en taisoebol en hetef, the cup that I drank some of. Lambden says that, when so has a bowl, it sort of means like to drink some of something. But it's a weird locution, the cup that I drank some of. So I'm not sure if that's really how you would translate it.
Yeah, so the word evol, I think, is the crux of the issue here, and it very often is. It comes up in my classes all the time. So evol is kind of the Coptic equivalent of the English word like. It does have a meaning, and it is routinely used with its full and proper meaning, but it can also just be something of a filler word. So when you get examples like that, like, okay, so means to drink, so vol is like to drink heartily or to take a sip or whatever. Take all those kind of things with a grain of salt.
Right.
The speaker might have just thrown a vol in there because it's just a habit of speech. So I would just say the cup which I drank from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So terote en tafso ibol en etes. The milk that he drank some of, same thing, right? Or the milk
Yeah.
he drank that he drank.
Do I have a typo here? Looks like I might have a typo. Yeah, that shouldn't be an epsilon there.
Yes. 20. Nishver en tankau en son. The friends who we abandoned or left behind or something.
Yeah, the friends whom we left behind us, literally.
Behind us, yeah.
And again, it's nice that these things are all kind of coming really close together. So you have this case of the word co again, where it's so broad in its meaning that you would really need to know the context to understand exactly what's being said. Okay, let's see, I think we're back to Claudio. Would you like to read, Claudio?
Okay, it's number 21. The word which he, it's very difficult for me, but the word which he enjoyed with, I'm not sure about.
That's not bad, enjoyed with. Yeah, it doesn't make
The
any
speech.
sense in English.
Well, in English, you could probably say rejoiced over, right?
You could if you were like in the 1800s.
Oh, yeah. Still English.
Well, or if you were in the Gospels, you know.
Or at church.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm not making fun of you, Christian. I think we really don't have a currently used equivalent for like to be happy about something. I mean, to be happy about something is pretty much how we would say it. There's no single verb in English that means like maybe enjoy. Enjoy was a good choice. It doesn't map very nicely. But so the words which made us happy, basically, literally the words which, or sorry, made him happy. The words which he rejoiced upon them. Interestingly, ancient Egyptian has basically one word. It has a few euphemisms and phrases, but it has one main word that means like to have sex. And we really have only one word in English that also does that. And Egyptologists just cannot handle it. I have so many like photos of dictionaries where they've written like something in Latin, or like they just cannot, or if you go to a lecture, someone will like be talking about something and they'll try to like, they'll say copulate. I'll say like, he copulated her, because we're really trying to find a word with that has just a direct object. Egyptologists just won't say fuck for some reason, but the Egyptians very often did. So it's a point of difficulty. Anyway, kind of a fun example, but okay, we'll get back to you, Claudia.
Okay, 22. Teschime entaseia nefourete. The woman who washed his feet.
Yeah. What do you think that is?
Mary Magdalene.
A podiatrist? Assistant?
No.
You go to the podiatrist when your feet are dirty, TV? Tell me you do.
Well, it's podiatrist assistant. I mean, sure, before you show up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. I've never actually been to a podiatrist. I should probably knock on wood because I like my feet being where they are. But they wash your feet. I might have to go. That sounds great.
Beh, sì. May I continue?
Sure.
Okay. So enticing a moth. The drink which I drank.
Almost. Wait, let me make sure I've typed this one correctly before I nitpick it. 23. It does say C. C does not also mean to drink, although it kind of looks like it, and it might be even distantly related. C means like to be satisfied by something. And again, it just doesn't translate well into English, but I would probably say something like the drink that I enjoyed it, or yeah.
24. Perhaps entap enjoys shitef neten. The silver with the master measured for us. The word is weight, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's weight.
Yeah, that's right. You pronounced it correctly. The silver which our Lord measured it for us or weighed it for us, either way.
Our Lord. Oh, yeah. I wrote the Lord. I made a mistake here.
Well, we'll let you slide this time, okay? But don't let it happen again.
Oh. And 25. Perome and taco nafen nefnobe ebol. Not easy. The man who forgave his sins, but I think I'm missing something.
Well, your translation was correct. I don't notice anything obviously missing, but literally it says the man whom you. Oh, did you say you or I?
I couldn't put you inside the translation.
The man whom you forgive. The man whom you forgave his sins. There we go.
The man whose sins you forgave.
Yes, that's a more natural English translation. Definitely. And again, phrases like this are often what Coptic uses, where English would just use an adjective or it might structure things differently. So it's a lot of words, but it says a very small thing. The man whose sins you forgave. Okay. That's well done, Claudio. I think we're just back to the beginning, so we'll come back to Christian.
Thank you.
Sure. 26. Ndome intau I sharok henteushe. The men which they came to you in the night.
Yes.
27. Nisneo entaf meritu. The brothers which he loved them.
Yeah. Good.
Brome entap nau epefha. The man whose face you saw.
Yeah, good. That was a good translation. It's super weird in Coptic. The man who you saw to his face.
Yeah. The man who you saw his face. Literally. Ndome inta episkopos shlel eju. The men who the bishop prayed
Yes.
over them or for them.
Yeah. Yeah, either way. It could be literally praying over them, like in a church, or he could just be praying on their behalf.
Mm-hmm. And then Matetes entau pot in sof. The student disciple who they ran after.
Yeah. And that can mean chase.
Yeah.
Depending on the context. Okay. David.
Yeah. Nentaucho hemptimet mau. Those who waited in that city, in that town.
Good.
Pentafsoebol hem piapot. Or maybe peyapot, maybe this one. The one who drank out of this cup.
Good. Yeah.
Pentafna nai awo afti nai and woik. The one who is not pity, maybe.
It is.
So the one who pitied me and gave me bread,
Yeah.
some bread maybe, or
I would even just say a bread.
a
And
bread. Yeah.
that's maybe not like standard English, but I hear people say things like that all the time. So yeah.
Good question. Na evidently can take two different prepositions. I've seen it before. We've seen it the na harof to pity him, and then the na nai to pity me. Right? So
yeah, and there probably is a little bit of nuance in there. Maybe there's a little distance in one of them, because like you can easily pity someone from afar, or you can actually do something where we would say like show mercy, because that implies there's some sort of action. Yeah, subtle differences.
Number 4, pentavje neishadje, the one who said these words. Tentaso emoi, the one who I was going to say, this is a weird sentence for me, who drank with me? No.
This one is weird. So it's not the word so, but obviously it looks like that. I think Lambden is trying to be tricky here, because he's just kind of forcing you to get all the vocab. So
it's the verb is o, just o, the verb.
Yeah, and o means to become pregnant.
Okay.
Which is,
So
you would never say. Maybe you would, I don't know, but it just seems weird to me to say the woman who conceived me. You might prefer to say the woman who gave birth to me. Kind of don't want to think too much about the conception part when it's your parents, but whatever. But he's just trying to trip you up.
Maybe if this person has mom issues, he would phrase it that way.
Yeah, like an Oedipal thing going on there. I don't know. It makes for a really weird sentence, but I think where it came from is that Lambden is just like trying to give you something a little tricky that will force you to think about the vocab, because naturally you're going to look at this and immediately see so first. It stands out as the verb. All of these penta, nenta things very easily blur together, as they probably should, because they're kind of loosey-goosey in real Coptic. And then you see that what looks like a very reliable verb, but it's a trap because it's something else. I'm checking the booked, and that's definitely what it says. Also, the woman who drank me doesn't make much more sense. It actually makes less sense, but yeah, whatever. It could be that though. It could be the one who drank me, just because Coptic will sometimes, when it has a doubled consonant, it will sometimes leave it out in writing. So that
I
is a
translated
possibility.
it as "drank with me," which I thought
Okay.
was plausible.
Yeah, that's perfectly plausible. To decide something like that, we would need to see it in context with other things. Yeah, it's not totally clear. Okay, who did I just call on? It must be Tyler's turn.
Yes, sir. Number 6, Nintancho ero. So the people we waited for. Number 7, Pintase Perote, the one who drank the milk.
Yeah.
Number 8, Nin Tauvo Kevol Etepolis, the people who went to the city or went away to the city.
Yep.
Number 9, Nintauhon Ehon Erum Pehei. Pefhei,
Pepe. Good.
the people who came to the entrance of his house.
Yeah. It's not quite the word come. Honahun is really like, you could think of it as like hone in on. I guess that's kind of a weird coincidence. It's like to draw near. And it
Okay.
does kind of have the sense of draw near where it's like you're not necessarily actually getting there. So yeah.
Number 10, Pentaftuno Moi Sharotun. And that's the one who sent me to y'all.
Very good. Okay. And well done, Tyler. I think Dante, let's just do these 6 to finish out the section, if that's all right.
Okay. Tentaf Merites, the girl whom he loved.
Yep.
Nentawea Nehoete, the ones who washed their garments.
Oh,
But the
you
there
haven't been
refers
here.
to somebody else.
Well, we actually can't tell whether the they refers to them or someone else
Okay.
in this case. And I think really in most cases in Coptic, you don't have that suis, eus, like marked divide like you have in say Latin, where it can be like his own or someone else's.
Right.
And you haven't been here, so you didn't learn that hoite it means garment. It's kind of like shirt or something. It's a really common garment, but just by coincidence, that word also means hyena. So I have a rule in my class where I insist that you translate it hyena. So I'm gonna ask you to try that one again.
The ones who wash their hyenas.
Yes, the ones who wash their hyenas.
Okay.
It's always just a little bit funny every time, so I'm never giving it up.
I think that's in the Nag Hammadi corpus. I think so.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. If they're the maidens who comb their hair for 10,000 years, and they're right next to the ones who wash their hyenas, next to the tree that's the eagle tree, of course, the tree that is either shaped like an eagle or has an eagle in it. We're doing a Gnostic reading class, and my God, those texts are just batshit insane.
I'm kind of glad we're almost done with it. We're done with it.
You guys read it, right? You read
Yeah,
it yesterday.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, it was just a lot of crazy without a break. Anyway.
Okay, so netem pu sotem e pashache, the ones who did not hear the word.
Yeah, I noticed a small typo. Your translation is correct. I noticed a small typo, I think. I can never find it. Oh, I'm missing a space. He wants a space. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think this stroke actually needs to be here, but a lot of Coptologists don't want to talk about that because it means that we're wrong about how we're interpreting that superlinear stroke. It's really just an epsilon for the most part, but people, Coptologists don't always have enough to do. Let's put it that way. So there's this huge argument about what exactly that little line over the letter is, and we'll never really know for sure. But it's basically just a short writing of like the short vowel. So if you have nete and then the M already, you don't need to put the line because you already have it there in the previous word. But yeah, anyway. So
sotem A, should that be listened to rather than, and then sotem by itself just means here, or is that a too fussy distinction?
I think you can say sotem emp shaje. So you can use, I think you can use sotem with the n direct object, but it's very often with the preposition to, just because it's often these sensory perceptions, like now also takes that preposition.
So yeah, so it doesn't mean it has to be listening to as opposed to hearing. It's just, it could mean either.
Right.
With the
It doesn't,
A, yeah.
it doesn't have to be that precise.
Okay. Where are we here? Pentachuf neten. That which I said to you all.
Yeah, good.
All right.
That's correct.
Nete empef teno emo. The things he did not send.
Yes.
That seemed weird.
It is weird. It'd be a nice title for a book.
Yeah.
Not a phrase you would say out loud very often, though.
So, Nete, the things, Pef, he did not send MO, O. Yeah, so it just means he didn't, the things he did not send. It's not anything
people.
beyond that. Or the people, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it could be the people who he didn't send as well.
Nete empuaine mo ebol. The things they did not publish or complete.
Nice. So you have ina vol as like publish, which it does mean. But yeah, literally bring them out. I think it can take a few different nuanced meanings. I don't nitpick pronunciation very often, because I've found over the years that pronunciation is one of those things that tends to kind of work itself out. But in this case, I'll pick on eine for ina, just because, you know, could cause confusion.
What did I say? I said ine?
You read it as eine, which is, I noticed it because you're not the first. A lot of students read this epsilon iota as I.
Right. What should it be?
It's the German way. E. It's always E or ya, except in this one case, which we had an example of earlier, the demonstrative pronoun. It's actually a. And in really nice Coptic texts, when it's supposed to be two vowels, they'll write diaeresis above the iota to show that it's meant to be two vowels. Gosh, I'm never going to find it. It's in here somewhere. We saw an example. But you can be 99% correct by just always reading it as a single E sound, as though it were written with just a iota.
E. Okay.
All right. And we have, let's see, 14 more to get through and 7 minutes to do it. So yeah, I think we can get there. I'll try to stop getting distracted. Claudio.
I prefer to skip now.
Okay, that's fine. Christian.
It's on. No. As you pevha menif maje. He washed his face and his ears.
Close.
She washed his face and his ears.
Good, yeah.
Af jos je mpinau erof. He said, it saying, I did not see him.
Yeah, good.
After these things, then she conceived, namely the woman, the wife.
Yeah.
He cried about his friends or companions who died on the road.
Yeah, good. Okay. Seems like those are pretty straightforward. David, you want to take 4 more?
Okay. Prelode empefsoevol hem perep. The old man did not drink some of the wine, maybe.
Good.
Menensa psha pre anbok ebol. So after the festival, so after the sort of the festival of the sun, maybe of Ra,
Yeah.
we went away.
I
We
think
left.
it could be just like after the sunrise.
Okay.
But it could be the festival of Re also, which was a
Okay,
real
Shah
thing.
also means the rising. Okay.
Yeah.
A ceere yo empesfo hem mau empiero. The girl washed for her. It's not face, that is ho.
Faux is hair.
Hair, okay. So the girl washed her hair in the water of the river.
Good.
Apre I echrai ejempto. So the sun came down onto the mountain.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, we have how many left? We have 6 left, so let's do them in threes. Tyler.
Yes, sir. Number 9. Etfu mpetnea netenho. And that's why didn't y'all wash your faces?
Why didn't y'all wash y'all's face?
Yeah, dirty.
Face, right? Is it one face or is it?
No, okay, it's many faces. I don't know. It's just
Okay.
such a funny question.
I don't know. That sounds like what? Sounds like mama. Why didn't y'all wash your faces? Come on.
Yeah, it does.
Number 10. Auchos nan chem penchitf. And that's they said to us, we didn't take it.
Good.
Number 11, Ancho Mao Hin Teoshe at the Mao. And that's we stayed with them in that night there.
Yeah. Good. I guess you don't need there. You could say we stayed with them that night, but yeah, good. Who's next? Dante.
Avshache Neman etve nefsneu etem pue, or there's the A again, right? So
E.
pui, empui, nemmaf. He spoke with us about his brothers who did not come with him.
Good, very good. Yeah, and you, Dante, you missed the part where I picked on everyone else for that. So I hope you don't feel picked on about the AE
okay.
thing.
Please pick on me. Apre sha ayo antoun anbok ibol. The sun rose and we got up and went out or went away.
Good.
Sotem e ne shache hen namaache.
Good.
Is that better? I heard or listened to these words with my ears.
Yeah. And this is the case I was looking for. The one case where it is reliably nay and not ni. But I would prefer that all of my new students pronounce this word wrong and get the other 99% correct. So I wouldn't fret about that. It takes a long time to convince people that epsilon iota really is just one letter. It also makes no sense because they do so many things to like save paper. And then they write this really common letter with 2 letters for no reason all the time. I don't think we really know for sure why they did that. Other dialects don't do it. So
Is it Greek, maybe?
Yeah, so it could be influenced by Greek. I mean, obviously every part of Coptic was influenced by Greek, but I really don't know. I don't know. But the main thing right now is to be convinced that it is truly an E sound, because it is. All right, so the lesson today is very short because we're basically just learning this new verb form called the temporal. The only rule that I have for you on translating this thing is that you never ever call it, I don't even want to say it out loud, you never call it the temporal. For God's sake, the word is temporal. And I really wish I could just tell that to everyone in the world. It's one of the, there's a bunch of words like this where the Latin antecedent was stressed on the first syllable and the middle syllable really kind of even isn't there. It's just like a little schwa or like tiny vowel, but for some reason English speakers pronounce it as like a really long O, and it irks me. Okay, the temporal. Yeah, I'm not going to read all this. We're also kind of past time, but we will do exercises 13 next time. So work on that. And until then, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Oh, GT, I saw your chat and I forgot to call on you. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, it's fine.
I didn't mean to leave you out. Okay, yeah, y'all have a great week. I'll see you all soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.